All right, I've been looking forward to doing this one for a long time. We got the Brenneke 3-inch Magnum slugs in 410 here today. Now, I previously tested Winchester and Remington slugs in the same Knox 10% Ballistics gelatin here. If you did not see that video, I'll put a link for it in the description if you want to check it out. But without spoiling it, I am expecting these to perform much better. I also have a lot of ammo tests as far as like accuracy goes, including these, shooting these out long range and just 50, 75 yard accuracy testing with these and many other 410 slugs. So check out the 410 playlist if that's something that interests you. But we're going to put these through the block today, see what they do. This is Knox 10% Ballistics gelatin. BB calibration today is coming in at 3.2 inches. This is the previous 410 video we just did. Don't want to ruin it, check out the 410 playlist. I'm temperature controlled as always. You can see my ice chest there today. When it's warmer out, I pack them in ice. Today it's only in the 40s. It takes me a half hour to get to the range. I just packed them with some ice packs around in that igloo cooler there to maintain temperature today. And it's not sunny and it's not hot out, so we are still golden on the temperature there. Get these spun around. We'll be coming in here on the fresh blocks. Got my chronograph here. We'll send a few over, and I actually have two different barrel lengths with me today. I thought some of you might appreciate that. So got my Rossi here, and there's a video review on both of these. Again, check out the 410 playlist. Rossi with a 22-inch barrel and a modified choke. And then I got this turkey gun up here, but as you can see here, if I can get a focus, there we go, IC. Got an improved cylinder in this one, so a little bit less restriction. And this is a 26-inch barrel, 26 and a half if you count that extension there from that choke. So I'll try to get, I don't know, one or two over the chrono. You got to be careful with the shotgun shells because the wad and the gas check and whatever else would be in there. If you're too far away, you know, those things can deviate and hit the chronograph. And then also with shotguns, if you're too close from the muzzle blast and everything coming out, you might not get a read. But I'll see what I can do. We'll try to get one or two through each one of these barrel lengths and see what kind of velocity we're actually getting. And should have showed you guys while I was down here. I think these are advertised mid 17s. There's your stats there. So yeah, they're advertising 1755 with 781 foot-pounds of energy, which, by the way, I have a video coming up, another one. Imagine that, right? We're going to compare these to 44 mag, so if that's something that interests you, definitely stay tuned for that. All right, so here we go with a 22-inch barrel. I don't know if you can see that, 1533. So if that was a good read, again, sometimes getting reads with shotgun shells for the reasons I just mentioned can be difficult to get accurate reads. But if that's accurate, that's way under advertised, which if I recall correctly, while I was shooting those in a lot of the other videos I mentioned, it seemed like these had less recoil, and I wondered why. But it might be why if they're coming in far under advertised velocity. So we'll see what the second one does, but maybe we'll get better velocity out of that 26-inch barrel. And I would shoot a ton of these over for you, but these are impossible to find and expensive. So considering they're both in the 15s, I would say that's an accurate read. So let's try this 26-inch barrel now. So again, that was a modified choke. So this has a little less restriction with the improved cylinder choke. So maybe that'll help some too. Yeah, a little bit, 1594, and if I didn't say the previous, I apologize. I don't think you guys can see it from here. It was 1570 something. So 1594 on that, so a little faster. 1578. So yeah, that would definitely explain why, if I'm recalling correctly, that they have less recoil than the Winchesters. They're nowhere near advertised velocity, and I can tell you from a previous video I did, excuse me, again, check out the 410 playlist, the Winchesters do go advertised velocity. So that's interesting because their close encounter version of these from Brenneke, that is a 2.5-inch shell instead of this 3-inch one, they advertise those at 15 something, and they advertise this 3-inch version being 17, whatever you saw on the box there. So that makes me wonder how fast those 2.5ers are going. So underpowered, well under advertised velocity, and we did everything we could for it with that 26-inch barrel, and it's still like 150 feet per second slower than advertised. So, but anyways, I'll get these blocks turned around and see what they do. All right, but even with that lower velocity, holy crap, that's a giant wound cavity. So yeah, still plenty of performance there. I really very highly suggest that you check out that other video. Again, it's in the 410 playlist, but I will link that one in the video description for you, so you can go check it out. Super easy. Just check out that video doing the same thing with the Winchester and Remington slugs. Not going to spoil it, but a vastly different result. So there's our slug clear back there. Let me push this together and get a measurement. And again, I'm just, wow, blown away by that wound cavity there. You know, especially considering, as you can already see, these, I mean, it squashed the nose a little bit, but you know, there's no expansion with them really, and it still did that. So that it's got kind of a flat nose on it with that tip, so no doubt that flat nose helps a lot. You know, it's kind of like a wad cutter, so it smacks when it hits instead of just diving in. You know, I like to compare it to, it's the difference between, you know, an Olympic diver diving straight into a pool compared to doing a cannonball, and that right there is a cannonball. And I don't know if it matters, but it did track fairly true and straight. It curved a little at the very end there in that second block. I did shoot at a slight angle like that though, because I didn't want it to, you know, exit the block. I wanted to make sure we captured it. So I did shoot at a slight angle, but it did curve a little bit too, just a hair. But we are sitting at about 21.5 inches of penetration. So not only you get this massive, awesome wound cavity, but you get plenty of penetration as well. So the block's already crowded because of this massive wound cavity, but I'm going to go ahead and take one more about here and we'll kind of crisscross it the other way. Alrighty, let's see what this one did. Looks like this one did a little more damage. Wow, even the top was split on that. I just not realized that. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, but man, that's really impressive from that first one. You still got just a massive wound cavity there. And there's that one about an inch shorter, so that one probably came in about 20.5 instead of 21.5. And you can kind of see it from this angle. You see the little tail, or whatever you would call it, tried to come detached from that one there, and it's still attached on that second shot we just took there. I want you guys to see this in what little bit of sunlight we do have here today. There's your channels there. So the one on the right was the first shot. So it's just absolutely gnarly. Again, I'm playing in a 44 Magnum versus 410 Slugs video, so stay tuned for that. Alright, now these are advertised as a 1/4 ounce on the box, which is like 108, 109 grains. So I've always wondered if that included the little tail there. So we're about to find out. So, you know, this one, the first one kind of separated and this one's still attached. So there's the components of it, and you can just snap them off the back. Even this one's wiggling loose on there, but there's what you're looking at. And you see the nose is a little deformed, so we'll get a expanded diameter too. We got a little bit of expansion. And there you can kind of see the slug without the tail attached, still hollow. you guys want to get yourself a little scale like this, micrometer caliper link in the description. So just the lead piece, 98 grains. A 1/5 ounce slug, which are more common, is 87 grains, I believe. So 97.8 there. I'm trying to... There's the full 108. Imagine that. So it includes the little tail in the weight. We got 109 on that guy, and there is a little bit of, you know, ballistics gel. Sorry for the dirty fingernails. I was working on a car before I came out here. Had to replace my alternator. She died on me. So yeah, it looks like, I mean, as long as the tail stays attached, which, I mean, that one stayed attached clear to the very end, you know, 100% weight retention. So you see this flicker a little, the wind just picked up. It's a reloader scale, so it's very sensitive because it's for measuring little tiny granules of powder. Every time the wind kicks up, it does that. So it seems like this one has better expansion. I mean, this one pretty much nothing. I mean, we got a little bit. I was gonna say I'll just measure the one, but we'll go ahead and do both. Oh, sorry, I'm not even pointing at the freaking thing. So 50 cal there, 0.500, 500. So, you know, they're 41 cal. They might even be a little smaller, so that they can shoot through tighter chokes, because, you know, open bore 410 is 41 cal. So a lot of times the slugs might be a little bit smaller than that, but we came out the 50 on that with the expansion. So this guy is going to be more, if I can get it in the right... Well, I went too high on my thing there. I don't know why, but it widens up there. Probably better if I pause the video and do this. Oh, that's interesting. That one looked like it was wider, but it's actually at its widest point. You can see I just got that little tiny piece hanging off the edge there. 0.495, so still like 50 cal. So that's optical illusion, I guess, because it's still attached to everything, but this one actually came in slightly smaller than that one. So looks like they expanded about 49, 50 cal there. Guys, everything I use to make these ballistic gel videos and way more linked in the description. And for products I cannot link to on YouTube, check out my campsite page, also linked in the description. But that about does it for this one. Again, if you want to see the Winchesters and Remingtons tested in the gel block, link in the description for that. And for more videos on these, including accuracy testing and the other slugs and long range shooting even, just check out the 410 playlist. And like I said, I'm going to do a little 44 mag comparison at some point, so stay tuned for that if that sounds interesting to you. But thanks for stopping by and checking this one out today. I really appreciate it, and I hope to catch you on the next one.